Okay, and now we're gonna start with the characters in chapters 5 and 6. Nick. Nick was plain, straightforward, honest. Nick ends up being the novel's most interesting character because Nick helped Gatsby with the problems of Daisy, and he has a warm heart and gives them advice.
Jay Gatsby, the perfect reflection of a little kid, innocent. He had like a innocent quality, like a little kid had. Even though people saw he was dishonest, corrupt, he still had that innocent quality. And you could see this when he was with Daisy. Daisy was his love, and each time he was with her, he hoped that he would end up with her in his life. And that's where we see that type of innocence. A strong muscle man. He was a professional polo player. The first night he went to Gatsby's house, he was jealous because he saw Daisy and Gatsby together. There you can see that he was a possessive and selfish man. And also, in that party, he started to wonder if all that money that Gatsby had earned was actually legal. And he saw that he was a type of criminal. Thank you.
And Daisy was in love with Gatsby until Gatsby went to war, and she was waiting him for a long time until she met Tom and married him. But Daisy was not only interested in love, she always was more interested in the money than love.
Thank you, Felix and Jan. Now we're going to talk to you about the symbols that appear in chapter 5 and 6. The first symbol we can see is the weather. The weather represents Gatsby's mood. Depending on his mood would be the weather. We also have the green light at the end of Daisy's deck. An example of this weather would be the rain, when Gatsby, after 5 years, is going to see Daisy for the first time, and he was very nervous. But after he saw that there was nothing to be nervous about, the rain stopped and the sun came out. Another symbol we can see is the green light at the end of Daisy's dock. This green light represents the hope that Gatsby had to recreate the past with Daisy. Another symbol that we have is the flowers, when after 5 years, Gatsby is about to meet Daisy and he fills the room with lots of flowers. Flowers represent innocence, purity, and new beginning. The new beginning would represent the new beginning that Gatsby wanted with Daisy so that they could recreate the past. Now I'll pass it on to you, Valeria, with more symbols of chapter 5 and 6.
Another symbol that appears on chapter 5 and 6 of The Great Gatsby is the mantle clock. Knocked off the clock out of Nick's table and then catches it. And that represents how Gatsby wanted to stop time and bring back the past.
Room is another symbol. It is much more simpler than the rest of his house. It represents the act he wants to show up in front of other people and the real parts that he does not want anyone to see.
Chapter 5 and 6, we can see the conflicts in character versus himself. In the Tea Party, Gatsby doesn't know whether or not to go back with Daisy since he hasn't seen her in years. We can also see in the character versus character, Tom and Gatsby. Tom wants to know how Gatsby got his money, and Gatsby wants to go back with Daisy. We can also see in character versus society, since Gatsby wants to fit in society, being a rich and newly rich, but society rejects him, thinking he's a fraud.
Universal themes is friendship and loyalty. You'll always find a friend like Nick once in your lifetime. For example, Nick helped Daisy and Gatsby reunite with a tea party at his house and kept it in secret.
Universal theme is hope and the American dream. These two blend together because everybody wants to live the American dream. The American dream means that everybody wants to live a luxurious, happy little life filled with wealth and happiness around them. In this chapter, we can see Gatsby's luxury life, parties, and the scene that he throws all of his shirts out of the second floor of his bedroom towards Daisy. He's showing all of that rich cotton shirts and everything, and he just throws it all and he shows it. Love is a universal theme because everybody can relate to it. We can see in The Great Gatsby, Gatsby's love towards Daisy and Daisy's love towards the money. Daisy had a love towards Gatsby, but it wasn't strong enough as Gatsby's. Gatsby gives up everything and tries to make his best so he can win his heart again.
These two chapters are the social class and the past. You can see the division between the high class and the low class at Gatsby's parties.
The past. Gatsby wants to bring it back, but the past is something that one cannot bring back. The future and the present is that what we have to live in. Daisy arrives in Nick's house. This is where Gatsby and Daisy reunite again since many years. In this scene, we see the symbol of weather and how Gatsby is nervous to see her. Daisy sees the flowers and she is enlightened by them. Gatsby knocks off the clock, symbolizing stopping time. Eventually, the awkward tension between both of them is gone and they start to talk. Nick observes them and tries his best not to third wheel. Daisy arrives with Tom, her husband, at their first party at Gatsby's. They meet up with Nick and Gatsby comes along. Gatsby takes Daisy, leaving Nick and Tom alone. At this point, Tom is aware of the love between Daisy and Gatsby. Nick tries to dissimulate everything he knows and sees them outside talking. At this point, they're talking that Daisy wants to leave with him and she doesn't care about the wealth and leaving her life behind. She just wants her future with him. You can't repeat the past? Of course you can. Of course. Here we can see Gatsby's hope.
This video helped you understand Gatsby. Thanks for watching The Great Seven.